This hearing will come to order. People will be seated. I welcome our panelists, and what happens here is that I usually make an opening statement. There were two senators who didn't make opening statements this morning, so they will then make their statements, and then we will go to the panel. I want to welcome our panel and thank my colleagues for dedicating so much of their day to this extraordinarily important issue. As I said this morning, we have two goals today. First, to figure out exactly what happened so those who made the wrong decisions can be held accountable. And second, to determine what actions need to be taken both to fix ongoing safety issues and to make sure this never happens again. We learned a lot this morning from Secretary LaHood, Secretary of Transportation, and Administrator Strickland, and Clarence Ditlow, about the government's role in Toyota's recent recalls and why these problems were not identified sooner. We have an obligation on this committee to make sure that the American people know the full story. That's what we do. We do oversight so the American people can understand what goes on and what is the root of the problem and what is being done to solve the problem. And both federal regulators and Toyota must learn the lessons of these failures and make sure they are never repeated. This afternoon, we will hear from Toyota executives about how these problems occurred and why the company did not respond more quickly. I want to say again in the presence of this second panel what I said this morning at the first panel. Toyota is an extraordinarily important company to America, as well as to my home state of West Virginia, and to our national economy as well. I worked very hard to bring a Toyota engine and transmission plant to Buffalo, West Virginia, because I knew Toyota was a company that believed in perfection and reliability. A company that believed a winning business plan was one where growth and profit came from only putting the quality of its products and the safety of its consumers first. It saddens me deeply that it seems somewhere along the way public safety decreased in value as profit margins soared. The Commerce Committee has been examining the recent Toyota recalls and asking whether the company was losing its focus on quality and safety. Indeed, the president of the company indicated that. What we have found is that Toyota has plenty of warning signs that something was changing. In September of 2006, for example, the president of Toyota North America, Jim Press, expressed concern in a presentation to Toyota's top executives in Japan that Toyota quality was slipping and that the company, he said, was facing growing problems with NHTSA, the U.S. safety regulator. But it doesn't seem like the message was heard in Japan. A year and a half later, Chris Tinto, Toyota's top safety official in Washington, tried to warn his superiors in Japan that quality problems were growing and, in his words, we have a less defensible product. It's not typical of the Toyota that I know. I ask unanimous consent to insert Mr. President, and Mr. Tinto's PowerPoint presentations in the hearing record, and it is so ordered. If Toyota wants to remain successful and regain consumer confidence, and I believe that will happen, it can happen, I believe it will happen, it needs to find this balance between quality and profits once again. Toyota's consumers and its incredible employees deserve themselves nothing less. They drive Toyota cars, they're proud to work for the company, and they are, in this case, American citizens, and they deserve the full safety of the car. And again, the American people deserve a top-to-bottom review, the honest picture of what happened and what we are going to do moving forward. This morning, we began an important conversation about the kind of legislation we may need to strengthen our system and prevent something like this from happening again. That legislative work will continue, as will our review of documents and oversight in the weeks to come. The public's trust has been compromised, and the system has broken down. For the safety of millions of Americans on the road and for the security of thousands of Toyota workers in America, let's get this right. Thank you to all of our witnesses for participating and for working with our committee. I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. Let me just add this. We have a system in this country where our committees have oversight. We take that very, very seriously. And we need to take it even more seriously because not all administrations are doing what they, presidential administrations are doing all that they could. NHTSA is not doing all that it should. So we step in to try to hold a measure of clarity to all of this.